It's a big milestone episode,
It
the
is.
25s.
Mm-hmm.
Jesse with a fresh haircut.
Yes.
What else is new?
I have a question for you right off the bat, because I think you are uniquely qualified to tell me about this particular issue.
Okay, then I have a question for you after.
Okay, great. Um, Yesterday morning, I believe it was yesterday morning, might have been the day before, I heard on the radio that the Canucks were playing, and they had to win to be mathematically able to reach the playoffs. And I saw the score of the game that was either yesterday or the day before, and they won in overtime 6-5. And from what I understand, they needed to win, but they also need like other things to happen. It's like quite a far shot. Are they still able to get in, or have they lost their chances?
Thank you for the question, Jesse. Wait, what's today? Today's the
It's the
9th?
ninth.
It's the 9th already. Oh my goodness. A lot of questions. Okay. It's a great question. I'll get the microphone up for this. So yeah, last night I didn't watch the game. We were finishing White Lotus,
Mm-hmm.
which I thought was more important because there was a 1% chance of the Canucks making the playoffs.
Oh, okay.
They needed everything to go possibly right, and they can't. So I looked at the score, and they were losing 3-0, 3-0 to Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
This is last night, 3-0 going into the third period, and then I looked again, and there was like 5 minutes left in the third period. It was 3-2. So I'm like, okay, well, they gave it their all. And then I looked again, and they won 6-5 in overtime. And I'm like, what just happened?
That's a lot of
So,
scoring.
so I had to go back and I watched the whole third period where they scored a bunch. It was the biggest comeback in NHL history. They scored 3 goals in the last minute, but which is great because if they lost, you're right that they would be eliminated from the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
But they didn't. They won, and then today they were eliminated from the playoffs because Minnesota won. Um, they needed them to lose outright. So
Well, they got a little slice of history, I guess,
yeah,
while going down. So that's something. Maybe something to end on for a positive season next year.
exactly. It's just it is what it is.
Yeah. Okay. Well, now I know. I'm sorry for your loss.
No, thank you for because I've been bothering Megan last night and all today with this game. How awesome the game was.
That you
I have a
didn't
question
get to
for you.
see. Okay. Yes, I'm ready.
Well, I watched the good parts.
Mm-hmm.
What do you have for dinner tonight?
I had a chicken burger.
Homemade or
It was from Bin 4.
yeah, the old bistro, the old bistro.
I get the Delicioso, but
Oh, they have two chicken burgers. Wait,
they do.
this
It's like,
is it the one with the egg on it?
no, it has like pesto and like balsamic vinaigrette and, or like balsamic reduction or whatever, and like some fancy cheese and shit.
Hmm. Okay,
It's pretty
sounds
good.
good.
I haven't had Bin 4 in probably years, so
You deserve it.
thank you.
You've been in New Zealand, right?
No.
But you've been close.
I guess kinda.
Samoa.
Yeah, Samoa. That's it.
The Hongi. This is Face Facts again. 2 weeks
Okay.
ago we left on Face Facts. We're back to Face Facts again.
Great.
The Hongi, a greeting in which one presses their nose and forehead against another's, is practiced by this New Zealand people,
Maori.
the Maori. That's correct. I don't know if you saw this, but today, two things for the podcast happened today, which I thought was fitting because it is podcast day.
Mm-hmm.
First off, I got an email from Spotify telling me that one of our episodes was flagged for a copyright uh, infringement.
Oh.
So they're like, either edit it or get rid of the episode because we're coming for you.
Yeah.
I'm like, whoa, okay. So I re-uploaded the episode when I got home and got rid of the Spice Girls song
Mm.
at the end of episode 44,
Mm-hmm.
Spice World, and I think that'll do it. But that was 80 episodes ago.
Yeah,
Spice World.
that's quite a long time
Ye-
ago.
Yeah.
I did get I got like a Spotify notification. It's like episode 44, Spice World. I'm like, that's weird. That's one's
Yeah.
definitely should be out by now. But that explains it.
And it was a quick edit, and it uploaded very fast, and it still kept all the information from the past, so it still says
Oh, okay.
replays and stuff. It just now it looks weird because it's the top of our list.
Yeah, that is weird. I do like for you that the edit was right at the end.
Yeah, I assume because it was. It didn't say. I just assumed it was the Spice Girls song
Probably.
that I used at the end. That I played for like 2 minutes.
I would do it. Yeah.
I didn't check Spotify to see if like it's now right at the top of our thing.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's back up. It is. Yeah. That's okay.
People can rediscover. I remember that being a pretty good episode.
Yeah, it did pretty well.
Yeah.
We had a good fun. And then the second thing, this one came at 9:46 a.m. from somebody on Facebook. Got a Facebook message from somebody named Raya Roy. And they said, "Hello, sir." And then they posted a link to another podcast, and then said, "Great show." And then that was it
Okay.
for that. So shout out to Crime Cave Podcast.
Oh, yes. That's a good one.
Crime Cave. They have a few episodes.
We have a Facebook page?
We do have a Facebook page. Yeah, it just automatically kind of uploads the reels
Great.
that we put on Instagram. Nothing happens with Facebook, but
Yeah.
sometimes we get a funny little Raya Roy.
Well, I do appreciate them reaching out and telling us about the Crime Cave. I'll check it out for sure.
Yeah, check it out. Crime Cave.
There aren't enough crime podcasts. Go ahead.
No, for sure. Face Facts.
Mm-hmm.
This was a hard one.
Okay.
$2,000. Once made with leaves, this ornamental dot worn on the face of Hindu women can now be achieved with stick-on felt.
A bindi.
Wow, you know so much more about stuff than I do.
I only know that because of Gwen Stefani. She used to have one of those in her earlier career.
BANA.
Yeah.
NANA.
Before that, even. But yes, I knew that. Look at me go.
Yeah. What else is new after 2 weeks off?
The Canucks are out of the playoffs. Well, they didn't even make it, really.
We already discussed that, which is okay. It's not their year. A lot of injuries, a lot of turmoil inside.
Right.
Me.
Turmoil inside you. Yeah, I can't think of a ton that's new, honestly.
Yeah. What else? What else is new? All right.
I rewatched the Paddington movies. Did I tell you about that?
Well, didn't you go see Paddington in theaters? Or do you just like watch the new Paddington or something?
I did, but I hadn't seen the old ones. I didn't have time to like watch them before I went and watched that. So I went and watched the first and second one.
And you understood the plot? You understood the plot of the new one?
Yes. I mean, like I had already seen 1 and 2. I just hadn't. So I like to like rewatch the movies before I go and see them. If that makes sense.
Yeah. Have you ever been to Paris?
No, I've never been to Paris.
But you know what the Eiffel Tower is? You've heard of the Eiffel Tower?
I've heard of it.
When it was completed, the Eiffel Tower took the record for the tallest man-made structure from this 555 foot landmark. That makes sense. It's like a. It's. I don't know if you can see. It's kind of blurry. It's
Okay.
a little. What would you consider that to be? 555 feet? It's
Yeah.
not inches.
No, certainly not.
It's an American landmark.
Okay. So the Space Needle? Wait. Sorry. Is this including like buildings?
Tallest man-made structure.
Okay. The Empire State Building?
It's the Washington Monument.
Okay. So not
But
buildings then.
Empire State Building. Very good guess.
Well, the Empire State Building is way higher than the Washington Monument.
The Eiffel Tower is kind of a building. You can walk up in it.
Yeah. I guess a structure does not include building.
I think I'm gonna have to start skipping some of these questions.
What I watched
stupid.
I watched Mickey 17. That's new.
And how was that?
I liked it. Yeah. The people I saw it with were maybe a bit more of a mixed bag in terms of liking it and not liking it. But I give it like a 7.5 out of 10 probably. It was good.
Okay. New Wes Anderson movie coming out?
Yes, I'm excited about that.
The Phoenician something or other?
Yeah. It's got Michael Cera in it. That's all I know.
I saw the trailer for it. It looked pretty good.
I have not seen the trailer.
Tom Hanks shoots a basket, gets it in.
Okay. I'll have to watch the trailer.
I think, I can't remember when it comes out, but I was thinking maybe we should go see it and then do a podcast for it.
That'd be good. I think it comes out in like late May or something like that.
Let me Google it. Let me just do a quick Google. Phoenician Scheme. Benicio del Toro. June 6th.
Okay. So early June, as opposed to late May. That's fine.
That's my 5-year anniversary, June 6th. Are you gonna get that? No, you're not gonna get that.
I'm a little annoyed about the structure question, to be honest with you, but
take it up. Jeopardy. The category is celebs celebrating, and I'm just skipping all of them because they're all kind of dumb.
Okay.
They're all stuck together. Oh. Who is Drake? Words that look like they rhyme. Okay. Words that look like they rhyme.
Mm-hmm.
A hairstyling tool and a box office disaster.
A comb and a bomb.
Amazing. Words that look like they rhyme. 2. The part of a car Brits call a bonnet. And to sulk about. To sulk about. Oh, interesting.
I think the bonnet is at the hood.
It is the hood.
The hood and to sulk about. Like brood? Hood and brood?
That is correct. That is correct. Words that look they rhyme for 2,000. This is the hard one.
Okay.
A slang term for money.
Okay.
And a word meaning not easily chewed. Slang term for money, not easily chewed. I
don't know.
Dough for money and rough or tough, I guess. Tough, rough, easy.
Right. Okay.
Okay, we'll do one more and then we'll move on.
Okay.
To this great movie. The periodic table. You know much about the periodic table?
I know a decent amount about the periodic table.
Of the elements that are not a solid at room temperature, It has the shortest name in English. Of the elements that are not a solid at room temperature, it has the shortest name in English. Interesting. Let me know if you want a hint.
Is this a common thing, or is
Yeah.
this like okay? What letter does it start with?
An N.
I don't know.
Neon.
Right. Well,
Right.
can't win them all.
No, but you've done pretty well without. I can only really answer questions if I can read them, but you never read them. You just get them told to you.
This
You
is
turn
true.
on Jeopardy.
Yeah.
Okay, episode 125. We watched a movie, which is my decision.
Yes, it was.
It had a long name. The Adventures of Bonsai Buckaroo and the Eighth Dimension, or something like that.
The Adventures of Buckaroo
And
Banzai Across the Eighth Dimension.
Bonsai Buckaroo. Okay, I watched the movie today, so it's fresh in my mind.
Buckaroo Banzai.
Yeah.
That's the third time. You keep saying
Yeah.
it the other way around.
No, I said this the third time. I said it wrong on purpose.
Okay.
Bonsai Buckaroo would be such a better name. Buckaroo Banzai Across the Eighth Dimension. The Adventures of.
It's a mouthful. It's like Dr. Otto and the Legend of the Gloom Beam.
Yeah, I got similar vibes to that. This seemed a little more. This seemed like it had a bigger budget.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
It led to, much like that movie, Dr. Gloom, Dr. Riddle Beams. It led to careers starting. I mean, RoboCop was in this one.
Mm-hmm.
Just like Jim Varney as Ernest was in the Dr. Gloombeam. Dr.
He was.
Riddle.
Dr. Riddle.
There was things to like and things to dislike in this film.
Yeah.
It was a wild ride. Like you've pointed out, a lot going on in the plot. That was a criticism that I read and then experienced.
Mm-hmm.
Some positive. John Lithgow was great.
Definitely.
He was probably the only one. I mean, Peter Sellers.
Yeah.
RoboCop. I didn't like him.
Peter Weller. Peter Weller.
Peter Weller. Peter Sellers is a different dude.
Yeah.
Peter Weller.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't like him. I didn't want to think of his name correctly.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't great as the lead in this.
No. A little boring for a lead.
A little boring, yeah. Especially for a movie like this.
Especially for someone he's supposed to be like clearly the expert at everything.
Yeah, he was a rock star. He was a physicist, brain surgeon.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. John Lithgow, he nailed it.
Yeah.
He did not take this seriously one bit.
No.
And that's what this film needed. With his weird little shuffle at the beginning and his crazy hair. Peter Weller didn't do that.
No.
Jeff Goldblum a little bit.
Yeah.
But a lot of boring performances all around.
Yeah, and his whole like band, they were pretty boring.
Yeah, the Hong Kong Cavaliers.
Something like that.
Which apparently he was half. His dad was Japanese.
Right.
So I think that's how he got away with. But that doesn't make any sense. The Hong Kong Cavaliers, and that's how he got away with being a buckaroo or something.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, John Lithgow was good.
Everybody was named John too.
That's true, confusing. Including John Lithgow. Yeah, he was. I do like it when a villain is over the top, but it works. I do like that very much. And yeah, John Lithgow really nailed it. And yeah, like you said, the plot, and like I have said here, plot didn't make much sense. And then there were some like plot points that never really came to an end, like when he met Penny.
Mhm.
It's like, oh, you look exactly like the queen or the princess of the Netherlands that I was married to, or whatever. I was like, oh, I guess we'll probably get an explanation for that. That was never explained. And also, she was like the least interesting. I guess she's supposed to be like a love interest, kind of. But we don't know where she came from. We don't know anything about her really.
She was sad. She tried to kill herself.
That's true. And when she was in peril, like no one, I didn't really care, and it didn't really seem like they cared all that much.
No, when she was like unconscious, apparently she was dead.
Yeah.
Under the sheet. When you resurrected her, I'm like, oh, that sucks.
Yeah. Yeah. I did like the scene. I did. One of the few times I laughed out loud was when it's like they're playing the rock in like the bar or whatever.
Mhm.
And then he notices that she's crying, and he starts singing a love song for her. And it's like, oh, this is going to cheer her up. And then as he's singing, she like slowly pulls the gun to her head. I thought that was pretty funny. And I chuckled a few times at John Lithgow being really over the top. But I wasn't
Yeah.
if this also like gave me some Top Secret vibes. There was a lot of like gags going on.
Yeah, but with Top Secret, like they were playing into the joke.
It's
I
true.
didn't feel like the movie was playing into the joke. They were being serious.
Yeah. Some of the time I thought, like with all the last names of the Johns, like John, Big Booty.
Oh yeah, Christopher Lloyd.
Yeah. And John, I don't know, there were some other ones. Dingleberry or something like that.
A woman named John.
Yep, that as well.
Yeah, some familiar faces in the movie. Like right off the bat, we got the dude from Better Call Saul as the guard
Mm-hmm.
with hair and young. That was interesting.
Yep.
Dan Hedaya was in it. He's in like everything.
Yep.
Um, then one of Buckaroo's um, pals. I don't know if he was in the band or not.
Are you talking about Rawhide?
Yeah, he was in some stuff.
Clancy Brown, yeah, he was in the Shawshank Redemption, and he's also the voice of Mr. Krabs.
Right. I feel like he might have been in a movie we watched on the podcast.
Probably. I can find that out if I look real quick.
Oh, he was
Green
in
Lantern,
Flubber.
and we didn't watch that for the podcast, but he's in Green Lantern.
That's not what I was thinking, but that works for me. Christopher Lloyd. Yeah, there was somebody who was in Midnight Run too. I just saw in the cast. I didn't recognize him in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's a wild movie.
Definitely a wild movie. Lots going on. Didn't seem to really know what it was doing. And I also liked at the very end where it's like, stay tuned for the next adventure, and then that never happened. I think this was a bit of a box office flop from what I understand.
Yeah, made 6.3 million against 17 million of a budget.
Yeah, that's not very good.
Which back then was quite a lot of money. 1984.
Yeah.
Is there no follow up to this?
There's something that came out in like 2002, but I think that's supposed to be about like the making of this movie or something like that. But there's no actual like sequel.
They're trying to make a TV show. Didn't work.
No. Yeah, I think yeah. There's too many problems with this one for it to have been a hit. That makes sense. I also think the name of the movie is probably didn't do it any justice. It's a bit of a mouthful.
I think that was just the vibe back then, though. They had to to make it
Maybe.
big and weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, it could have just been called Buckaroo Banzai.
Yeah, The Adventures of
Could have been
Buckaroo
called Banzai
Banzai.
Buckaroo too.
Could have been called that, yes.
Yeah. The whole 8th dimension, 10th dimension, friendship, Russia. I didn't. None of that really had to be in there, but
No. No.
yeah.
I wasn't like a. I did find myself actually a little bored at times. I mean, there was a
With
lot
so
of
much going on.
action, but then at some point, I felt like I don't know how much I really care about what's going on here. It just wasn't enough weight
Okay.
to it.
Not a lot of caring. I get it.
Yeah,
I get it.
yeah.
You didn't like feel a little emotion when he was in the. He just came out of his the flying thing and he was heading back down to Earth and he was waving to the spaceship that clear green screen. And
No,
he lands nice and cool.
not particularly.
A lot of stuff, a lot of plot points I read in the Wikipedia one only made sense after I had read it. So like when he shocked the woman back to life, and then they went to John, the good alien,
Hmm.
for like a second, and then came back. I'm like, the hell is that? And then, but I guess they allowed him to use his shocking ability one last time to resurrect the woman. I'm like,
Of course.
that wasn't explained.
Apparently, I mean, when I watch a movie, most of the time I have the subtitles on, just because, especially for a movie like this, is a great example. Apparently, it wasn't mixed very well. And I don't really notice. Well, I guess maybe I did kind of notice. There's a lot of times people say something, and I'm like, there's no way I would have heard what they said unless I had the subtitles there. I've heard that in a couple of the reviews I saw.
Hmm.
So I couldn't understand what people were saying.
It's kind of odd. This is on Prime.
It's like when movies there's like a dark scene, but they make it too dark, so you just can't see anything.
Yep.
I hate that.
Peter Weller's still alive.
Yep. Jeff Goldblum still alive. John Lithgow still alive.
Yeah, he's getting up there too.
Yeah, he's in his 80s. He's about to play Dumbledore in the Harry Potter show.
Yeah, yeah. People are weird about that. Because he's not British, maybe.
Yeah, he's not British.
And then they're gonna have one of the one half of the Simon Pegg Nick Frost duo play Hagrid.
Right.
Nick Frost.
Yes.
And then Harry's gonna be played by a woman. It's crazy.
It's the world we're living in. So yeah, I mean, it's a movie where a lot happens, but there's not like a ton to talk about, I feel like.
It's because you can't explain it because we don't know what happened.
Yeah.
Let's see if IMDb has anything fun. I didn't look at Letterboxd this time. 67% on Rotten Tomatoes. 6.2 out of 10 on IMDb. Yeah, I don't know. People also ask, why is Jeff Goldblum dressed like a cowboy?
Right.
Why
Why a
is
lot
he
of
in New
things.
Jersey? Yeah.
There's a scene with Jeff Goldblum in it, and he's with some other guy. I forget the character's name. And at one point, there's just like this watermelon just hanging out. And Jeff Goldblum's just like, why is the watermelon there? And that was just kind of me with a lot of things that were happening in the movie. It's like, why is that happening right now? It's good.
If you're looking for a predictable film, don't watch this one.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the first bit of information is there's a scene in the movie where Reno and New Jersey go through a room with a watermelon in a machine really out of place. Reno says, I'll explain it later. And he didn't explain it later.
No.
In the Blu-ray audio commentary, filmmakers explained that they had a confrontational relationship with one of the producers. When they stopped receiving notes from the production, they decided to put the watermelon in a scene with no mention about it anywhere on the script. When they received no questions about it, they deduced that no one was screening the dailies anymore and they could keep making the film the way they wanted to, as long as they remained within the budget.
I see. That's probably our best watermelon-based fact that we've had on the podcast.
We should make a film. We should do the sequel. Buckaroo Banzai versus the World Crime League. I'm sure the rights are available. Nobody's holding on to those.
Yeah, and I'm sure it will be successful because a lot of people have seen this movie. They're like, oh, finally the sequel is coming out.
Yeah, I was talking to Greg about it. He's like, "Hey, what are you doing next week on the podcast?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, Adventures of Bonsai Buckaroo." And he's like, "You mean Buckaroo Banzai?" And I'm like, "Yeah, that's right." It's like I saw that. It was all right. Watermelons. I'm like, great.
That sounds like a very nice, real conversation you had with him.
Have you ever seen The Hunger Games?
Yeah.
All right, we talked about that a lot on here. I feel like.
Yeah.
Do you know who the author of The Hunger Games is?
If I saw the name, I would be able to pick it out of a line up.
Well, the answer is the name of the author. Before The Hunger Games, she helped Clarissa explain it all as a writer for Nickelodeon.
Something Hunter?
Close. Suzanne Collins.
Collins, yeah. Hunter Collins. I mean, come on now. Half points.
We were just talking about her brother. Things were hopping for this author after she published The Tale of Peter Rabbit.
I don't know.
Beatrix Potter. Sister
right.
of Harry.
Right. I did know that, but oh well.
Do you read much poetry? Are you in the poetry headspace? You in the poetry Reddit? You big into poetry memes?
Yes.
Do you know who Rupi Kaur is?
Rupi Kaur? Yep.
You don't have any idea.
No, I love Rupi Kaur.
A book of poetry by Rupi
Mm-hmm.
about the female experience shares its name with this food and drink pair from the Bible.
Well, that's obvious. Bread and wine.
I was also thinking bread and wine, but it's milk and honey.
Oh, that's like a really common thrift store book. I've seen that thing a million times.
Our last question is algebra. You good with math?
In high school, I was. And then I went to university and I took like a statistics class and it like rocked my entire world.
Well, this one's pretty easy.
Okay.
To cube a number is to raise it to this power.
Okay, yes, that is very easy. 3.
What is 3? Yep. Yeah, we got some algebra questions coming up next time we do a podcast. Okay, anything else you want to talk about? The Adventures of Buckaroo Banzai across the 8th dimension. This is gonna be hard to put on a.
Yeah, you've done this to yourself. My next movie is very concise. It'll easily fit on any space.
Ellen Barkin played Penny Pretty.
Penny Pity. Not Peggy Pity Pretty.
There was a moment where 2 women talked to each other. So I think it did. Well, actually, I don't know if they talked, but when they like introduced her, they went down to like their lair, and then the lady was like, "You can't go there."
Yeah, I do remember that.
Maybe it does pass the Bechdel test.
Let's go.
Oh, you ready to wrap it up?
No,
Yawning and stuff.
no, I wasn't yawning.
Well, you want to do scores or
Let's get into scores.
okay? How do
I
you
think
like the
it's time.
acting?
Wasn't amazing,
No,
was it? No.
no.
Yeah, a lot of pretty meh performances. I mean, I like John Lithgow. Would I call that really good acting? I don't know. I guess for what it was pretty good. But overall, not great. I think maybe I give acting like a 5.
Mr. Lithgow, he went to like an Italian person to learn the language to get his accent.
Right.
John Lithgow was great. Really enjoyed his scenes. He wasn't in the movie a lot, which was
No.
not great for the movie. Peter Weller was boring as the lead.
Yeah.
Yeah, this Sleepy Time tea is really hitting me good. And I mean, everybody else was kind of meh. Jeff Goldblum, always fun and exciting. Earth Girls are easy. We watched kind of a similar vibe, the aliens.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna give acting a 4.
All right.
A 4. I'm gonna give the ending. I'll give the ending a 6 on this one because it was kind of wild. Just the way they did the spaceships, like animated them, and when they were inside them, it just didn't really look like a spaceship.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and a very convoluted plot. So I'm still very confused about the ending, which I think is a good thing, maybe not a bad thing. And I like the green screen waving when he's parachuting down, saying
Mm-hmm.
goodbye to his 10th dimension friends. And he resurrected a human being apparently, so that was cool. And then they had like the music video at the end, which Prime cut off, which I was kind of sad about. So I think we were supposed to get like 2 minutes of him and then the whole gang behind some good music, dancing or whatever.
Yeah.
So that would have been cool to see. So I'll give it a 6.
I got to see that because you can hit like continue watching credits. So I did.
Oh,
But it's really they're just kind of walking along. It's not that exciting. Yeah, the ending was fine. A little anticlimactic in a way. He's just like kills John Lithgow's character, and he's just like, "I'll see you in hell." But there was not that much build up to it. It felt like I don't know, something weird about the vibe of the ending. I guess I thought it was just all right. I give it a 5.
5-5. Okay. How do you feel about the whole movie as a whole? Out of
I
10.
I thought there were some fun parts, but the bad plot, um, and like the really boring lead character really hurt it.
Mhm.
And so I think I just give it a 5. It's just kind of like an average movie. A 5 out of 10.
Hmm. Yeah, I didn't hate the movie. It didn't feel like a waste of time. It was 100 minutes. I thought it went by pretty quickly. A lot of action. I did want to give it something like a 4, but I think you're right. I think this is like a 5 movie, just because it was kind of crazy and unpredictable and
Mm-hmm.
so much going on. But they took themselves too seriously. If they didn't take themselves, there was so I think the Johns, I guess, was a moment. There were some things they didn't take themselves too seriously, but for the most part,
Yeah.
they did. And so for that, I will give it a 5 as well. I think that's it. I think that's a fair score.
Yeah.
5s across the board for both of us, which is sad. I want it to be more like a good movie, but
That's
it
okay.
wasn't.
That's okay. You tried. And that's all I ask of you.
The Adventures of Buckaroo Banzai Across the Eighth Dimension.
That's it. You got the title down now, which is nice.
A little too late. Okay, what are we doing next week?
Like usual, I have like a million movies I'm thinking about, and it just constantly changes. And so I picked this movie like an hour ago. It's a Colin Farrell movie. That if you have seen it, then I'll pick something different. Excuse me. It's called In Bruges.
Haven't seen it.
You heard of that one though?
Yeah. It's one of those movies that people are like, you have to watch that. I've had it suggested to me a lot. Most people are my parents because they're big into that, like Irish stuff. But haven't seen it.
Well, now you will. In Bruges.
Okay, yeah, that sounds like a good one. What made you pick it?
Because I also have been like, people have suggested that one to me, and I'm just kind of, yeah, I'll get to it. Yeah, I'll get to it. And then I was just kind of looking at lists of movies, and I was on it. I was like, you know what? Now's the time. Let's pick it.
It's not on anything to watch.
Yeah,
Can rent
that's
it from
okay.
YouTube or whatever. But it has Brendan Gleeson in it.
I love Brendan
Colin
Gleeson.
Farrell.
Yeah.
Have you seen that one movie they did together recently? That one.
The Banshees of Inisherin, that one?
Yeah. Did we do that for the podcast?
No.
Definitely, I would definitely watch it. It was really good.
Yeah, I heard good things. No, but I did watch Paddington 2, and
right.
what's his nuts is in that. The first guy you said.
Dom Gleeson, his son,
who
plays one of the Weasley brothers.
Not him.
Potter.
Mad-Eye
Brendan
Moody.
Gleeson.
Brendan Gleeson. Yeah. He's in Paddington 2.
Okay. Cool. In Bruges, probably.
Bruges.
Right?
In Bruges. That's it.
It's a city in Belgium.
Belgium, I believe.
Ooh, that reminds me. Unrelated.
Okay.
Okay. Unrelated to the podcast, I think.
Sorry?
It reminds me of something that I'm not going to talk about on the podcast.
Oh, okay.
But thank you for...
That's like a postscript.
Yeah, no, nothing to do with you.
Oh, great.
Okay, yeah, In Bruges, 2008, I think. Good.
Something like that. I'm glad you haven't seen it. Now we both will.
I mean, if you would have wanted to watch Banshees of Inisherin, I would have watched that again. I don't know if that's a good podcast movie.
Right.
Not a lot going on. But the dude from Saltburn's in it.
Okay. The Barry Keoghan, that guy. Yeah. And he likes this older woman or something.
Yes.
I've seen
sister, I think, of Colin Farrell.
Oh, okay. I've seen a scene where he asks if he's for, I don't know, she likes him or something, and she says no or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Okay, well, I mean, 44 minutes. Pretty concise today.
I think that's on brand because episode 44 was Spice World, and that had to be re-uploaded today. So ending on 44 it seems right.
It just seemed right.
It's because I've had my sleepy time tea now, and I'm ready for bed.
Right, and no one wants to listen to a podcast where the guys sound really sleepy and bored.
No, and today I can't. Names and words just aren't coming to me as well.
It's one of those days.
Banzai Buckaroo. Clearly not the name of the movie.
No. Wednesday is always the day I feel like I need a nap the most.
Why do you think that is?
I don't know what it is.
It's middle of the week. Next week, 4-day week. Pretty exciting.
Next week, 4-day week.
Yeah,
that's right.
We get Good Friday off.
Yeah, I get Good Friday off and Easter Monday off.
You know, not a lot of people get Easter Monday off. Shouldn't
I'm
rub
built
that in too
different.
much.
And then I also, that week, I have Thursday and Friday off. So I have 4-day weekend, work 2 days, and then another 4-day weekend.
Right, because you're off to the races, literally.
No, I needed one of the days off because we're getting like a fire inspection in our place.
Right.
And I needed like the Thursday off for that. And I was like, well, I had a couple of weeks of unused vacation. I still need to book. I was like, I may as well just take a couple days, make it another long weekend.
Why do you have to be in the building for a fire inspection?
Well, because they need to come into our suite,
Mm-hmm.
but we have like our cats that we'd have to deal with, and it's either you give them your key and they come when they please, or you're there and you let them in. And given our cat situation, let's put it that way, I need to be there to supervise their visit.
Right, because you're not supposed to have cats.
Not to our level that we do.
Right. So we're being truthful on the podcast because nobody else listens. Nobody important that could take our homes away listening to the podcast. Tomorrow or Friday, hopefully tomorrow, they're also coming into our suite. They're doing a dryer clean out.
Oh,
They do
yes.
this once a year.
Yes.
Normally they do it Monday or Tuesday. Megan's home, so she can kind of be around. But nobody's home Thursday or Friday, so we're just rolling the dice. Because we're also not supposed to have as many casts as we do.
Right.
But
we
somebody
do.
opens the door.
Gino is gonna hide. You don't have to worry about Gino being seen.
Gino's actually the one that won't hide. The other two will hide.
What has happened to Gino? What have you done to him?
He just lies on the couch. I think he's just he's over it. He's like, I don't care anymore. I'm comfy. I'm staying.
Everything used to scare him.
Yeah, not anymore. Luckily, the laundry room is to the immediate right when you open the door. So all they're gonna do is just go to the right, and then it's a hallway that turns, so you can't really see anywhere the rest of the house.
Right.
So they're just in that area. They're not gonna.
You have a curved front hallway?
Well, no, it's not curved, but like it's straight. There's a wall.
Yeah.
So it goes. There's a wall that goes on the left all the way to the door, to like the sliding glass door.
Okay.
And then, but then the rest of the house is like way behind. Like, so you have to walk down the hallway and then you turn right, and then that's the living room, kitchen, bedrooms area.
Okay.
So they can't see anything unless they turn that corner.
Okay. That's great then.
And they shouldn't. You also are not allowed to have candles. They have a no candle rule, and we have a lot of candles, so we have to hide all the candles. Yeah, no, there's no candle rule.
That's weird.
It's weird, and we don't abide by it.
Clearly, you have lots. That's what you just told me.
Yeah, so we had to hide those.
Right.
So we'll see. We've been doing this for 4 years, and
nothing's gone wrong yet. So,
anyways, unfortunately, we're at 49 minutes now. So,
yeah. Well, once we get talking about fire inspections, you know what happens around here.
Also, yeah, cats, big cats. All right. Well, thank you for listening. 125. Who would have thought?
Not I. You get a can of Coke for that amount these days.
And now we close our eye and we go to sleep.
Yes, indeed.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.